comfortable we feel when we
Yeah. Okay.
how we feel comfortable when you are in the ISKCON temple.
Very
How
nice.
that vibration helps us in reconciling ourselves.
Wonderful, Prabhuji. So you started chanting, right? How many rounds you're chanting, Prabhuji?
Right now, I'm doing about 10 rounds.
Prabhuji, very nice.
Swamiji.
Yeah, you can call
I'm
me
wanting
Prabhuji. Generally,
3.
yes, Mata, Uma Mata.
I'm doing 3 rounds only, Swamiji.
Okay. Maybe you
My
can
grief
this.
has come down, but not yet fully.
Yeah. It takes time, and we can understand that. And it's not that it goes away overnight, but definitely it helps, soothen your pain and suffocation. It definitely, can understand that what you're going through is understandable. I'm sure that, you
Yes.
going to the temple also helped a lot, right?
Yes, Swamiji.
Very nice, Prabhuji. So somehow, try to engage in devotional service and understand that, your son is just, away from you, but not necessarily that, it's a fact that, it's not there.
Physically not there, spiritually is with us. That's right.
Exactly. Physically, you may not see him in a physical body, but he's definitely spiritually with us. And he is eternal.
Yes.
He's just not, vanishes once this body is gone. So he's always
Yes,
there. So, and we can also help. There's a different ways of, helping, right? Suppose if you are
Yes,
in, sometimes, the people will send money to one place to other place. Suppose the children is studying in US and people are in India.
right.
Or, children
Right.
is working in US and the parents are in India. So the way to help is, we send money through different means, right? Those are the physical
Yes.
things. Similarly, now also we can send your well wishes and prayers. You can communicate and send things to your son through a spiritual process. So when you are doing
Yes.
this process, really, you can connect with your son and
Right.
communicate what he's supposed to be doing, and you can send your well wishes. So
Yes, Guruji.
since we are all under the care of Krishna,
Yes.
then that definitely reaches him. So that's a
Yes.
very
Right.
wonderful.
Yes. So today, Damodar Guruji was mentioning that can buy one more mala and keep it for son's prayers, which I said I will do myself. That I will
Very
do.
nice. Very nice. Very
I will
wonderful.
do that.
So what was the program that you attended? You can explain that, when you went to the ISKCON temple. When did you go and what exactly happened there?
ISKCON temple, we went today morning around 11:30 in the
With
morning.
Mani Mataji.
Okay. Along with Mani Mataji, you went to ISKCON temple. Very nice. Okay.
For Arati.
Uh-huh.
An American lady was giving a lecture on Krishna.
Wonderful. Okay.
And then at the end of it, I went to her and I thanked her for the speech and I told her about my loss.
Oh, okay.
She asked me to hug her, and in turn, she hugged me.
Okay.
That gave immense solace to me, Swamiji.
Very nice, Mataji. What is the deity's name in Seattle?
It's ISKCON temple.
Okay.
Only Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice temple, Swamiji. Very, you get divine vibrations when you are there, and all devotees were really very good. And we found in the Mataji's lecture how every creature, whether big or small, how it is all taken care by Krishna, as Swamiji used to say. How Krishna sees that the nature recoups herself, and modern day science is only trying to come back to those days, learning it the hard way, that you cannot over explore anything and get into problem. You have to do it within limits so that The nature is nature, and Bhagavan takes care that nature is continuously recouped by itself. And we have to bear the fruits of it and be thankful to Krishna for all what he has given us.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So Radha Neelamadhava is there, right? You have taken darshan of Radha Neelamadhava.
Yes, Swamiji. Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah, it's Radha Neelamadhava. Sita, Rama, Lakshmana, Hanuman is also there, right?
Sitarar. Yes.
And then
Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra.
Puri.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right.
Very nice. So we had darshan of Radha Neelamadhava and
Yes.
Sita, Rama, Lakshmana, Hanuman and Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra and Gaur Nitai. Very nice, very nice.
And Narasimha. Narasimha Prabhu also was there.
Oh, Narasimha Prabhu. Narasimha Swami is also there? Okay.
Yes, Swamiji.
Very nice, very nice. That is good that you had an opportunity to meet with the devotees and visit the temple. That really regenerates us from the materialistic approach to spiritualize ourselves. It's a very good thing to do.
Yes, Swamiji. We only wish we had done it earlier so that we could have saved ourselves.
Better late than never. That's what people say, right? It's a very popular
Yes.
saying. Better late than never. I think
Yes.
everything happens in our life with a cause and a purpose. The only thing we don't know it. What exactly happening because of our ignorance. We'll feel that the extreme experiences we feel it.
Yes.
We undergo extreme experiences, but Sukridam Sarvabhuteshu. Krishna is well-wisher of everybody, right?
Right.
So as we all children of Krishna, we may play different
Yes.
roles. Somebody may be playing as a wife, somebody may be husband, somebody may be parent, somebody may be children, and so on. But ultimately, all of us are children of Krishna. And Krishna wanted all of us to be happy. The way
Happy.
to be happy is, surrendering to Krishna. As a living entity,
Right.
part and parcel of Krishna, our duty is to serve Krishna. Unfortunately, because we intended to have our own enjoyment independent of Krishna. See, Krishna
Right.
is so merciful, then he's provided a facility, so-called this material world, and he said, okay,
Right.
you try to be the master and then try to enjoy it. And because
Right.
it's not supposed to be the place where we are supposed to be, then we try to enjoy, but ultimately we'll get defeated every time we try to enjoy and become a master here. Because that is not our
Yes.
nature.
Right.
So Krishna comes back onto this material world again and again to communicate that, hey, you belong to me, and your constitutional position is to be with me, where you can, experience ultimate happiness.
Correct, Swamiji.
And all we need to do is, just take those process. See, the Krishna says, Sukhridam Sarvabhutanam is a well-wisher of all living entities. As a father, for every living entity, the well-wisher is a real well-wisher. We may come across in many of our relationships, like most close relationship in the material world we maintain is the spouse, right? And of course, the
Right.
parents at particular some stage, and consequently the spousal relationship. So,
Right.
but the point is that all these relationships are going to vanish someday. This is going to end someday.
Right.
So the only relationship that you can have permanently, eternally, is Krishna's. When you have the relationship with Krishna and his representative, the spiritual master, they will actually protect us from all kinds of miserable situations of the life. So Krishna, being a supreme personality of Godhead as a Paramatma, is there in everybody's heart. Being in everybody's
Yes.
heart is actually directing us to
Right.
get back to our situation of constitutional position is to be associate of Krishna and serve Krishna eternally.
Right.
So externally we'll feel that hey, this is Sometimes you feel happiness, sometimes we feel distress. For different activities or different experiences we go in our life. But reality is, if you deeply analyze it and look from the spiritual point of view, from spiritual platform, Krishna is doing different things to different individuals based on their level of consciousness and where they are and etc., so that they can come closer to Krishna from where they are. That is the whole purpose. It may look like, oh, Krishna has given me so many tribulations. Somebody may feel Krishna has given me so much of happiness. Sometimes, we call it as, good things and bad things. But all those things are, really Krishna bestows each individual for the benefit of that individual spiritually. We calculate, our benefits are good or bad based on our perception, bodily concept of life, from the material point of view. But Krishna's point of view is the spirit soul. We. So, nate vidu swarthagatim hi Vishnu. If we wanted to really help ourselves, that means a real selfishness is to serve Krishna. When you serve Krishna, actually you get a real benefit. Material world, we do a lot of activities, especially the people who is engaged in the completely materialistic perspective. They do a lot of things, morning to evening, they work so hard. But end of the day, fact of the life is, whatever you are earning, either the name, fame, adoration, or knowledge, material knowledge, or the money, whichever you are earning, end of the day, as soon as you leave this body, everything is gone. Only thing remains with us is the devotional service we render to Krishna and his devotees. That is the only thing that comes along with us eternally. It doesn't vanish. Salpam apiyasta dharmasya taito mahato bhayat. Salpam apiyasta dharmasya means even if you do a small portion of our, even if you very minutely engage in Krishna's service, that minutest engagement will continue to be with us permanently. Even if I change my body, because the activity we are performing is on the spiritual platform, that is going to be with us for eternity. Even if I change my body, that spiritual progression that we make in this particular life will continue to exist. The rest all will go away. Entire life, I may be spending about out of 24 hours, I may be just spending about 4 or 5 hours about Krishna, speaking about Krishna. But that activity, whatever I acquired in the 4 or 5 hours in a day, that is what it's going to stay with us. When you understand that, whatever I am doing in relationship Krishna is permanent, if one is intelligent enough, then, he has to spend more and more time in activities of Krishna, because that is what we are going to keep it with us permanently. Rest of the things, you just need to do those things in order to maintain our body and soul together. That is the perspective we need to develop. Because it is a fact, it's not a superficially imposing on ourselves. Srila Prabhupada used to say continuously, Krishna consciousness is not a artificial imposition on us, on a living entity. It's inherent. Everybody of us has a dormant, it may be in dormant state at this moment because it's contaminated. Our heart is contaminated with so many material desires. But all living entities inherently has that tendency to love Krishna. It's in a Krishna consciousness is a natural propensity of all living entities. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually appears, we talked about it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, Radha and Krishna together. They appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age of Kali to propagate the message of this age of Kali. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam Kalau nasteva 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 gatranyada. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagye Sankirtana Prajay Yajahanti Sumedasa. That is what he wanted to propagate. Yagye Sankirtana Prajay Yajahanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, the yajna that need to be performed is Sankirtana yajna.
Okay.
So he came in and propagated that message. In the process, when he went to South India Yatra, he went on pilgrimage to South India. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in West Bengal, Navadvip, which is called Mayapur. It's close to Calcutta, about 3.5 hours away from Calcutta. And when he appeared, at the age of 24 years, he took sannyas ashram, and he went on pilgrimage to South India. When he went on pilgrimage to South India, he was crossing different forests. During his travel through the forest, he was doing kirtan. When he is doing a kirtan, wild animals actually started dancing along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's a lion and deer standing next to each other and dancing along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That indicates that the dormant love for Krishna is inherent for all living entities, whether they have in the form of a animal body or human body or whichever body they are in. The dormant Krishna consciousness is inherent. So that's why Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition. It is there in every living entity inherently. All we do by practicing devotional services, awaken that inherent dormant Krishna consciousness, dormant love for Krishna. It is there, but it's contaminated, it's covered by material desires and materialistic way of life. When we engage ourselves in devotional service, actually, we're awakening that dormant state of love for Krishna. That awakening process is actually Krishna consciousness. And okay, if you can adapt to this process, then we can easily succeed in our life by reaching the goal of life, actually. So the things that are happening in this material world, reality is everything happens for our betterment. Sometimes, we may not see something. Sometimes, materially speaking, simple example, I come across many people. Many a times when the incident happens to us, we don't understand why it is happening. Sometimes, we'll curse ourselves, curse the people around, even we curse the God. We don't understand why those things are happening. After a few years, we realize that, okay, the thing that happened a few years ago for me, that actually helped me become so and so. People used to say that sudden transfer happens, somebody, and they say that, hey, I'm stable here, settled here, everything is here. Why it has happened to me? I'm also practicing devotional service, but it happened to me. After few years, the people learn how that actually helped them in various ways, material and spiritually. I will share some small story which I hear from a Vaishnava recently. There was a wonderful devotee. It's a recent past. It's a actual story. It's not a Purana story or a concocted story. It's a really happened incident. There was a nice Vaishnava devotee, is a devotee of Lord Venkateshwara. He lives in Mysore, and so he's practicing a devotional service, and his love for Venkateshwara he's very much attached to Lord Venkateshwara, Govinda, Balaji. So he's a devotee of Balaji, and he arranged for his son's marriage, and his marriage took place according to the rituals of that place and etc. After immediately marriage happened, and he took both his son and daughter-in-law, bride and bridegroom. He drove himself from Mysore to Tirupati to take the blessings of Lord Venkateshwara. And it's quite some distance, Mysore to Tirupati. They need to drive at least 14 hours or so. And then driving, they came to Tirupati, which is downstairs. Lower side of the city, and they need to go to uphill, Tirumala, right? There's the 7 hills. He started driving up. And after a 6:30 or something, they don't allow on that Ghat road going further. So whoever enters the Ghat road before 6:30, they are allowed to travel. And after 6:30, there is no public vehicles are allowed onto the Ghat road. So this person crossed that Ghat road before 6:30, and within about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, his car broke down. Since there is no more cars coming behind, and car is broke down, his plan was to go to the Tirupati, take darshan of Balaji, and next day morning start driving back to Mysore, so that he can perform the remaining rituals that is a part of his marriage ceremony. All the relatives was communicating to him that don't go now, let's all ceremonies are complete. Let us complete all our rituals. After that, leisurely you can take them to Tirupati. But he was so much attached to Balaji, he wanted to take the blessings of Balaji quickly before even, he felt like, okay, they're married now. First thing I want to do is get the blessings of Balaji. And he's so attached to the Balaji. And now it is stuck in the middle.
Got it.
And in the Ghat road, his car broke down. Don't know what to do. Looking around, no vehicles are coming up. So he tried to, with only 3 people are there. So, I mean, they try to do something around. They don't know what to do. Meanwhile, in a 10 minutes or 15 minutes, they struggled, or half an hour they struggled. And after that, they see one car coming through. They are immediately, they went and, tried to seek help from them. They went in front of that car, requesting them to stop. The person sitting in the car, he stopped it. And he looked at to the person who is requesting for the lift to take him up the hill. And he also, the person who is sitting in the car, he looked outside. He also see that, the 2 young boy and girl who are in that attire of, they call it as, the marriage dress. And he can quickly realize that, these people are just married, or, just as a new bride and bridegroom. And the person who stopped it, the father, he explained that, he's taking the son and daughter-in-law for blessings of Lord. So the car broken down. So it will be great help if you can extend this help by giving a lift to Tirumala. Then the man thought, okay, that's fine. He's the only person sitting in the car and the car is available. So he accommodated all 3 people. Now he's quietly sitting and he's driving. And this man, who is a devotee coming from the Mysore, he started, venting it out, saying that I came all the way from Mysore, and I thought, I can take the darshan of Balaji and make my children get blessed by Balaji. But see that, Balaji is so merciless. I'm traveling from all the way from there, and suddenly, the car is broke down. And from now onwards, I came to Balaji temple so many times. I love Balaji so much. But now I'm just feeling like, he's not at all, caring for me. Last half an hour to 45 minutes, we're struggling. We don't know. I'm so much stressed that Balaji is not taking care of me. So I don't want it to come to the Tirumala any longer. This is my last trip, and etc. etc. The man was hearing quietly. He understood his
Anguish.
complaints and anguish and everything. And then he started saying that he did not say anything. But the person who is actually driving the car was executive officer of TTD. So he did not disclose that he is executive officer also. He just heard that and he drove up. And that day there was some ceremony was going on in the temple. So there's a huge devotees inflow was very high. And it was almost, it became like a middle of the night or so. In the next half an hour or 45 minutes, the darshan is going to be closed, 30 minutes or something. And he directly took up to the entrance of the darshan, and he made some phone calls in next 5 minutes. And the few people came in, and he ordered them that, okay, these 3 people has to take darshan. They are very important people. take them, VVIP darshan and make sure they get the darshan before darshan closes. And he sent them. By then, this person understood is the executive officer, and he also instructed executive officer, okay, their car is broken down in so and so place, so make arrangement to get it repaired and brought it up, and also arrange for the rooms for them after the darshan is complete. Immediately arrange for their accommodation, and they need to travel back to Mysore tomorrow morning. So make sure that the car is ready for them. The car is stuck down somewhere. He has given a location. So everything was arranged, and the people was there's a 6 or 7 people who are engaged in those activities, so that they can comfortably take darshan and then can take accommodation, consequently go back to the Mysore. Then the whole thing happened. Next day morning, these 3 people, the devotee who is coming all the way from Mysore, he got his car back, and he's driving back. After 2 or 3 days, he get a letter to executive. He wrote a letter to executive officer. He just opened it and he's written down, I'm very sorry, not just for you, but I'm feeling sorry for my behavior on the day. I was thinking that Lord Venkateshwara is not taking care of me. But if I think back and I realize that broken down the car was broken down, that is actually boon in disguise, in the sense. Otherwise, even if the car was not broken down, if I could have gone very comfortably upstairs, but still that could have been impossible for me to get darshan. I have seen that the crowd there and the devotees there. And then consequently, starting back next day morning from Tirumala and reaching to Mysore was almost impossible task for me. So the car broke down, that actually I could meet you and you could arrange all these things. So I can see that Lord Venkateshwara is arranging everything for me. Initially, it was looking to me like, hey, this is a hindrance and obstacle, but reality is breaking down the car in the middle that actually helped the whole process to work smoothly. So Krishna and Venkateshwara was arranging everything possible for me, but out of ignorance, I was, cursing him and saying that, he's not doing anything, he's not caring for me. So when Krishna do something, when Lord do something for us, sometimes it looks like to us like, he's not caring for me. Why is it happened to me? I'm trying to do a good thing, and I wanted to go and take his darshan. Why is he broke down my car in between? I mean, which is a natural tendency of living entity, but we need to understand in devotional service, when you take up to the devotional service and become a devotee of Krishna, sometimes it looks like, hey, this is a very bad thing he's doing to me. But reality is, Sukhridam Sarva Bhuteshu is the well-wisher of everybody. All living entities is Krishna. So that time we may not understand, but consequently we realize that that's the best thing that to happen. So this man has written such a nice letter appreciating Krishna and appreciating Venkateshwara. So it is, whatever happens to us, we need to take up to Krishna consciousness seriously. Sometimes, people take up to this devotional service. If something goes wrong in their daily life, in a material life, they think that, hey, this is not helping me, and they try to give up. Whatever happens, our faith and determination in taking up to devotional service should be unflinching. Whatever happens, we should continue to stick to the process. And Krishna, whatever he do for us, actually for our benefit. We need to have that complete faith in Krishna. And we may not realize at that moment, why things are happening the way they are happening. But everything happens for our betterment. Sometimes, from material point of view, sometimes for us it looks like, it is a very difficult situation. Sometimes it looks like, it's a wonderful thing that has happened to me. But end of the day, but Krishna's view is from us in the sense, spirit soul. From spirit soul point of view, he do everything good for us. But sometimes because we don't have that vision, then we may appreciate Krishna. Sometimes we curse Krishna sometimes. But whatever is happening for us, it's all, Krishna is doing for our betterment. With that complete faith, we continue to do our devotional service, execute our devotional service, then we can, get more and more blessings from Krishna. We need to have that faith. I mean, everything Krishna do. See, one is not a devotee. For them also, Krishna is bestowing whatever they desire to have. So imagine a situation, somebody takes up to Krishna consciousness and devotional service. Why wouldn't he take care of? We need to have that faith. So even something, apparently looks like, is not a palatable thing that it is happening, but ultimately everything Krishna does, is good for us. This is what, we need to understand from that. This is a real story. This what I narrated is in a real incident. It's not even a story, you call it real incident that has happened. It's a nice devotee. See, imagine a situation that as soon as the marriage took place, within 1 hour of their marriage, he started towards the Tirumala.
Temple.
Tirumala. It's not, nearby temple. He has to travel from Mysore to Tirumala. It's quite some distance. So he still wanted to get the blessings of the Lord. So we can understand his attachment for Venkateshwara. And though he has an attachment for Venkateshwara and a devotee, the incident that happened initially, he felt that, Venkateshwara is not caring for me. Balaji is not caring for me. But if he thinks back, he realized that, how nicely Balaji is arranging all those things. Sometimes apparently looking to me like, he is not taking care of me. But that car breaking down in between actually helped him getting introduced to that executive officer, TTD executive officer. He could make the arrangement so quickly that everything fall in place for him. If the car was not broken down, it safely went up, but still he could not have got darshan the way he has got darshan and accommodation and everything perfectly arranged. So sometimes, we don't understand Krishna's plans. But we should have complete faith. Krishna is our well-wisher. Whatever happens, sometimes in a material world, whatever happens, we need to have that faith. Krishna is the well-wisher of us. So I just thought, I will share this incident here with all of you. I felt it's very inspiring that, people tend to think that, hey, Krishna is not taking care of us. Sometimes it, apparently looks like that, externally when you look at it. That 1 hour or half an hour, whatever time he spent, 2 hours, he must be, in such a distress that, okay, there's nobody is coming and the car is broke down. What should I do, right? He's traveling from some other town and etc. But once during that period also, he was just, continuously thinking that Krishna is not taking it. He went on up to thinking that I don't want to come back to Tirumala any longer. So this is my last step. So that's what he was communicating to that ego. But end of the day, if you look back, actually Balaji was helping him so that he's introduced to the ego and everything went very smooth and he could go back to his relatives and complete his remaining rituals of the marriage. So the Krishna actually is very merciful. Sometimes we don't understand his plan. So we think that, why this has happened to me. We need to have that complete faith in Krishna. Anybody has any comments or questions, Prabhujis and Matajis?
Clear, Guruji. Clear.
Hari Mam. So anything that happens, sometimes, it's very difficult for us to comprehend why these things are happening to me. But we need to have that faith. Anything that Krishna do for us is, for our betterment. He is truly well-wisher. Really speaking, nobody can be a better well-wisher than Krishna for any living entity. Anybody has any questions or comments? If nobody has any questions or comments, probably we can close our session here today.
Yes, Guruji, I have only one
Question or comment?
clarification, not a question, it's a clarification.
Yes.
As Guruji was mentioning that though this devotee, he got the answer immediately for his
Right.
not minding the actual senses.
Right.
So in the materialistic world, it is human nature. People expect that something should happen. Like, we were telling you that we expect our grandchildren to come to us.
Right.
So though irrespective of that, we'll continue to pray to Krishna. That is fine.
Right.
You had advised us. After all, everybody is Krishna's children, and
Yes.
this way will definitely go to them.
Right. Definitely. Yes.
We only wish, with
Yeah.
his blessings,
Yeah.
our grandchildren come back to us.
Definitely. See, Krishna has a plan for every living entity. Your grandchildren being away for this period, probably, there is some reason, something is going to turn up, probably they will develop more affection or whatever, what happens, we don't know. But at the end of the day, we will realize, if not now, the latter course of time, we'll realize that, it's happened for my good, for children's good and your goodness, your good and everybody's good. Right now, we may not understand. We may feel like, why this is happening, and
Yes.
etc. So we need to have that faith. I mean, we need to develop that faith. Okay, we are taking shelter of Krishna, so Krishna will take care of us. So
Yes.
anything
We
happens
leave
to
it to
us,
Krishna.
yes, we should leave it to Krishna. Completely depend on Krishna.
Yes.
The more we depend on Krishna, more happy we are, because see, the small child is there. She doesn't, care for, how, whenever a small child under care of parents, she happily plays. Whenever she feel hungry, comes back, mother, I'm hungry. Then mother arranges that. He doesn't bother whether, how to cook it and where is it coming from, how do I buy groceries, who is making the money for that groceries, how to procure it, so on. So he doesn't bother because he's dependent on parents. And he thinks that, okay, I'm playing happily. When I feel hungry, I will go to my mother and she's going to feed me. That's all.
Yes.
So, similarly, we should completely depend on Krishna. The more we depend on Krishna, more happier we are.
Right.
And the more we depend on Krishna, Krishna start taking care of us. If you say that, no, I will take care of myself, then Krishna will leave us alone. Okay. So our imperfect senses, we try to take care of ourselves and we get into the more and more troubles. See, for a child, sometimes, say, no, you don't cook for me. I will take care of myself. And he doesn't know how to cook and he makes a mess out of it and you get into the dangerous situation sometimes.
Yes.
But just, depend on parents and parents are taking care of it. So you be happy.
Yes, Guruji. Yes, correct. Yes, we understand.
Hari. Very nice, Guru. Thank you very much for sharing your opinion too and discussing. Uma Mataji, please be comfortable and happy. Your son is fine. You may not able to see physically, but he's fine.
That is impossible, Guruji.
It's very painful, I can understand.
Because in April, I'm going to go back to the house where he was born and we raised him. We have been living in that house since 1984.
Right. Because you are taking up chanting of the holy name, your son is going to be definitely benefited by your engagement in devotional service. You are engaged in devotional service. It's going to help him a great deal. So
hopefully, Swamiji.
Yes.
No, it's completely. It's just. It's a fact because Krishna is assuring that in Bhagavad Gita. So definitely it will happen, Mataji.
Dhanyavad, Guruji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Guru.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Hari Bol. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samohik Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama.
Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Bol.
Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.